Ivan Lendl was a former three-time U.S. Open champion. He had been to the finals of that tournament for 8 consecutive years. Only 7 months removed from his most recent Grand Slam title at the 1990 Australian Open, he was considered to be the heavy favorite against the younger, inexperienced, and unproven Pete Sampras. The two men were on good terms, and Lendl had invited the young American to train with him at his home in Greenwich, Connecticut, during the 1989 season. Although Pete Sampras had lost his only prior career meeting with Lendl, he came out of the starting blocks strongly, denying Lendl the chance to get the early break, and later breaking serve himself to win the first set 6-4. A frustrated Lendl would continue to throw everything that he had at Pete Sampras, eventually yielding a break of serve to go up 5-4. On the verge of leveling the match at a set-all, Lendl would uncharacteristically freeze, throwing in an unforced error and a double fault. This chink in the Lendl armor would be all that Pete Sampras would need to get back on serve. With Lendl's advantage now nullified, the set would head to a tiebreaker, where the 19-year-old Sampras would catch the veteran by surprise with his sublime shot-making. Sampras would win the second set at 7-4 in the tiebreak.
For just the third time in his tennis career, Ivan Lendl has lost the first 2 sets of a 5-set match.
Ahead by 2 sets to love, Pete Sampras is now just 6 games away from the biggest win of his career. But the momentum would quickly change in the third set, when Lendl was able to take advantage of a loose service game from Pete Sampras to get the early lead. Frustrated by his sudden drop in form, Sampras would struggle to maintain the quality that he displayed throughout the first 2 sets. And it was now the 30-year-old Lendl's turn to put himself on the board, taking the third set at 6-3. Pete Sampras would find himself in troubled waters at the beginning of the fourth set. Unable to stop Lendl from capitalizing on the momentum that he had gained from winning the third, he would quickly find himself down 4-1 to the former 3-time champion. But it was in this moment that Sampras would find an extra gear, managing to fight his way back into the match. He would break Lendl's serve in the very next game, and was able to fight his way through a tough service game to keep himself in contention for winning the set. Having been outplayed by Pete Sampras for the majority of the match, Ivan Lendl would finally break through in the 10th game of the fourth set, and for the first time in almost 3 hours, he was now on level terms with the young American. Having been up by 2-0 at one point in the match, Pete Sampras had a lot of time to ponder over the thought of being in his first ever Grand Slam semifinal. Now in the 5th set, Pete was done thinking about it, and he took immediate action on the Lendl service games, breaking him twice to win the match and put himself in the Final Four of the U.S. Open. Although Pete Sampras had been made to struggle in his last 2 matches, Andre Agassi seemed hardly troubled in his quarterfinal match against the 20-year-old Russian, Andrei Cherkasov, easily winning the match in straight sets.